And then it's time for the fifth rule, and that is to expand our container. I'm not talking about any new diet. I'm not talking against any diet. I am talking about opening up and enlarging the container of our heart. Have you ever had a situation where it's like your heart broke wide open, and all of a sudden you had this rush of emotion that just uplifted you? You were touched. And you knew in that moment you were blessed. And it was almost, or maybe it was exactly, like a mystical moment where your container was big enough to hold that realization in a new way, in a meaningful way. You see, pretend this whole village is living next to a stream, and every day they have to take their pots or their pitchers and their bowls down to the water to gather water. Now, there's unlimited water. The only thing that is limited is the size of their container. Somebody with a small bowl is going to have to make more trips for the same amount of water as someone with a bucket. You see, so how much of the flowing water of life, how much of the flowing good of God, how much about your divine destiny and your right are you collecting for yourself every day? I just suggest having a bigger container. And one of those ways of opening up and developing a larger container is through meditation. Oh yeah, she mentioned the M word. Oh yeah, I sure did. And I'm not talking about 2 minutes every month. I'm talking about a daily discipline, a spiritual practice that will change your life forever. I guarantee it. To spend that time in contemplation, to spend that time not only hearing the voice within, but to listening to the voice within. Allowing yourself to be activated, to be accepting and willing to do what you are to do. So what keeps you from accepting more? Are you stuck in the past? Be here next week. Are you too busy to hear yourself think? Be here the following week. Do you worry about the decisions you make? That you might be making the wrong one? Be here the fourth week. And then the fifth week, we celebrate a new consciousness that has already begun in this congregation. And you'll hear more about that in the special meeting after the service while we're eating a wonderful potluck. I only have one question for you. Well, maybe it's several. I'm never quite sure. I don't write them out, so I don't count them up beforehand. But how are you going to put God first this week? How are you going to collect and gather that God in your life, that good? How are you going to play the game of life? For me, I just would like to invite all of you to dance. And here ends the lesson.